And we're back. Sorry for the delay. I was having trouble locating my Contra and Super C carts. And you know where they were? They were on the shelf, right where they're supposed to be. In alphabetical order and everything, and I just couldn't see them. While we're talking about carts, I don't get to show this off very often, but, you know, we've talked about how I like to collect physical video games, and I'm well known for being such a picky collector that I demand only the highest degree of perfection when I purchase a video game cartridge or disc. And that's why my Battletoads cart looks like this. Until I started playing this game, I bought this game a couple years ago. And until I started playing this on the stream a couple weeks ago, I wasn't even sure that it really was Battletoads. I was just trusting the red ink. So that's my Battletoads cartridge. Unless my house burns down and I have to fill out an insurance claim, then this was my Nintendo World Championships cartridge. Or my Stadium Events cartridge. The sarcasm is real. Alright, let me get myself out of the way here. And catch up. I missed a little bit here. Contra. Yeah, we're gonna play some Contra. I enjoy this one quite a bit. Sorry, I'm trying. Oh, thank you for the Wheel of Scorchin' Tusk. I guess I'll blow the camera right back up. I do enjoy hard games. Subject. I am guilty as charged. If you don't, for anyone who may not know, my very favorite video game, #1 all time, no exceptions, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So I'm kind of obligated to like hard games if that's gonna be my #1. Contra I'm kind of new to. I only played Contra for the first time August before last. It's been like a year and a half since I discovered the magic of Contra. Gonna take off, Angelus says. Take care of a few things before bed. Thank you, Angelus, for being here. Thank you again for the raid, and have a great night. Ooh, and I always thank you as well to, I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Very nice name. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are having an excellent morning. And if you enjoy some retro games played with a very dubious skill, you're in the right place. All right, I'll write down that one too. Tusk. It might be easier if you. Might be easier for me if you wanted to whisper me these suggestions. Don't overwhelm me. I do appreciate you sharing with me some suggestions, but if you give me a list too massive, I'll be overwhelmed. I'll never attack it properly. Yeah, thank you for that. Because that's going to be easier for me than coming down to the basement to pick up my notepad. But yeah, if you want to give me the band and what album you recommend, which album would be the first one to listen to, then I'll definitely give them a listen sometime. Console transition was smooth. I got lucky with that one, Natto. Usually there's some of that flickering gray screen that you get. This I'm lucky. That one happened pretty smooth. You don't know anything about this game? Oh, this one's good. That's me with wrenches. I check every place except where they're supposed to be. Alright, the Wheel of Scorchin'. 5 hot sauces, I'll spin the wheel. I'll take a very generous sample of whatever it lands on. They range from a very mild jalapeno sauce to a pretty spicy ghost pepper sauce. Not world-endingly spicy, I would say. The ghost pepper, I've actually had hotter ghost pepper sauces than what's on the wheel right now, but the wheel is an evolving creature, and there will be new and different things on it from time to time. Especially as I empty out the bottles that are currently on it, and I'm forced to go with something new. We got the green sauce on the last spin. This time we're gonna get extra. This is the one that I think is the second hottest sauce. It's extra hot. It's a straightforward habanero hot sauce. It's definitely rough. I haven't been able to beat this one yet. Made it to maybe the third boss in Contra. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is on my list to try. Oh, I hope you do, Natto. And I hope I'm there when you try it. You got to do it for real. You got to do it for real. 2 loops, true ending. That's the only way to play Super Ghouls and Ghosts. If anyone who's only done 1 loop, I got to tell you, you haven't played Super Ghouls and Ghosts. You haven't even played the game. The whole game is about loop 2. The final battle with the well, I don't want to spoil it. The final battle on loop 2. I already spoiled that there's 2 loops. The final battle on loop 2. That's where all the challenge is. The whole rest of the game is tutorial for that. And that's final battle with an asterisk for reasons. If you know the game, you know why the asterisk when I say final battle. Because you know what the real final battle is. Too much sauce. It ran off my cracker. Oh my goodness, but it's hot. I eat a lot of spicy food. Like I have a lot of stir fries and soups, chili, that kind of stuff. And I eat a lot of spicy food. So usually I have a spicy dinner. And I come to the stream and I'm more prepared for the heat. But I just had pizza tonight. Not a lot of heat there. Whew. Well, I'm definitely awake for this run now. Oh, apologies for being such a sloppy eater. I take great pains to be neat, and I fail. Made by Konami, you think they included the code. The Konami code does exist for this game. I don't use it because I don't believe in codes. The screen is glitching. Not such a smooth transition after all. I'll have to fix that in just a moment. But the code gives you start with 3 lives normally. The code gives you 25 or 30. Gives you a lot of lives. I will try it for sure. I just need to work up to it. I don't want to turn my hair white too soon. just you know, I mean, I could be wrong, and you may come in and be a master and steamroll it on your very first try. But I would say, for most mere mortals, you definitely need to have your expectations low on your first attempt at Super Ghouls and Ghosts. There's a learning curve. that the proud few of us who have beaten the game, we've all paid our dues. We've all gone through the suffering and the learning curve, which is more like a wall straight up into the sky. People without beards don't understand how hard it is to eat cleanly. Look at what it's done. It completely crashed. The Konami code is in lots of Konami games. That's why it's the Konami code and not the Contra code. And I know it's in Super C as well. It doesn't give you as many lives in Super C as it does in Contra. In Castlevania Bloodlines, it unlocks hard mode without making you beat the game first. Alright, let me fix this. I'll be right back with you. My lips are tingling from the hot sauce, by the way. Because I usually am able to get the cracker in my mouth without the hot sauce ever touching my lips. But because I kind of blundered my bite there, my lips are on fire. Alright, so Contra, here we go. Let's, what toppings? Just pepperoni. Pepperoni is my favorite pizza topping, Tusk, and just about the only one I eat. If I'm feeling really crazy and I want to go absolutely wild and have the weirdest pizza that I ever eat, I might add Italian sausage alongside the pepperoni. And that's it. That's it. That's as crazy as I get. I do remember there's one game where it punishes you by removing one life. Oh, nice. But you don't remember which game? It's included in the Bomberman fan game and in Gradius. Pepperoni and jalapenos your go-to? I don't like to mix produce and cheese. I'm weird. I've got all kinds of weird food hang-ups. If you get me started on it, you'll never hear the end of it. There's all kinds of crazy things that normal people eat that I don't. And if I try to explain the rules behind it, the problem is there's always exceptions. Because, you know, don't go telling me the tomato sauce on my pizza is produce. No jalapeno poppers. All right, I'm pushing buttons now. We're hitting start. We're gonna get glitches again, but I'm gonna run until the glitches break the game. Hopefully they won't. So, Contra. I played this for the first time less than 2 years ago and immediately fell in love with it. I haven't touched it for a few months, so I'm definitely gonna be rusty. But I've done a few challenge runs of this one. I've beaten it deathless 3 times. We did an any % run. I did a no items run. Right, pea shooter only. I also did a all items run, where I required myself to open every single capsule and use every item at least once. And I don't mean like once for the game, I mean use each item at least once every time I picked it up, which was all the times that it ever appeared. That's a clunky way to say that. So I've done any %, low %, and 100% deathless. You will most likely not get a deathless run from me right now. Like I said, it's been a couple months. I'm undoubtedly very rusty. But hopefully we can at least beat the game, and it'll be a real treat if we can beat it without having to see the game over screen and use a continue. That's always, you know, that's like the minimum of what I like to do, is a 1 credit clear. But I'm not promising that. This is a very hard game. It took me a very long time. It took me a long grind to pull off those runs that I was just bragging about. I'm not naturally skilled or clever. So when it comes to video games, like, persistence is the key, and I can grind something with the patience of a stone when I really love it. Gonna have pepperoni and jalapeno again tonight. I'm probably more likely to lose a life to the behind the back stages than the run and gun stages. But it could happen anywhere, that's for sure. Konami code's in the Monkey Ball game. Doesn't do anything, just kind of acknowledges you know the code. Your stomach's a little angry after the pizza. Yeah, the behind the back stages are a little rough. I get sort of confused sometimes, like in regard to where the projectiles are. In regard to my character, like when the actual hit is gonna happen. And so, like, if I want to squeeze in a few extra shots, it's very easy to end up in a situation where I'm paying for my hubris. Yeah. I definitely feel that. So with the 100% run, one of the tricks to it is that enemies, in some of these rooms, enemies come out that spawn weapons. Not in all of them, but in some of them they do, those red enemies. And so I had to learn which rooms had red enemies, and then every time I got to one of those rooms, I had to not clear it too fast. I had to sit around and wait for that red enemy to show up so that I could make sure that I get the weapon that they drop. Otherwise, I couldn't say I got all the items. Because I wanted to get not all the items that exist. I wanted to get all the items that could possibly exist, not just the ones I saw. It's weird to me, like on the, and unless something's changed on the like speedrun.com website, 100% items is not a category that people actually play the game in. I jump way too much for this boss. Vertical stage. No, I missed the invincibility. Here's the part where I say, who needs invincibility anyway? And then I immediately die. And I say, I do. I need invincibility. Rip the deathless run. I foretold that like a prophet. I can't believe that my accuracy was perfect. So I have a goal to beat all of the retro Contra games by April. I've only beaten 4 of them. I think I have 6 left to beat. By April, I want to complete a first playthrough of all the retro Contra games. Because I want to do a marathon and try to beat them all in one stream. We're gonna do it on William Shakespeare's birthday. That's in April. Because I noticed that the characters in the game are named after William Shakespeare. The Contra dudes. They're named Bill and Lance. Like William Shakespeare. So we're gonna do the William Shakespeare Contra marathon. Even if I can't pull off all the games, I'm still gonna attempt the marathon. But I need to try and get a first playthrough of them all in, so I've got at least a little bit of practice to make it somewhat likely to happen. But I'm gonna make that a stream. Yeah, Billiam Shakes Lance. we're gonna make that a stream tradition. I'm gonna, hopefully if I keep streaming every year in April, I'm gonna do a William Shakespeare Presents Contra marathon. And I'm gonna get one of those like old-timey collars like Shakespeare's frequently painted with, and I'm gonna like the accordion style Elizabethan collar, and I'm gonna wear that. And everyone's gonna have to put up with me. What Contra is this specifically? This is Contra on the NES. This is the first one, the NES version or port of it. I guess you hold a record then by default, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if there are any other 100% Contra records runs out there. I didn't actually really look into it. I remember looking at speedrun.com because I wanted to see what the rules for a 100% run would be, but I didn't. I mean, it could have been there and I missed it, but when I looked, I didn't find one, so it didn't look like a category that they actually did at the time. So far as I could tell. But I didn't like go around looking to see like if other runs existed, because like one of the features, like I do challenge runs exactly like I do first playthroughs in a way. I don't do any research. I don't watch other runs. So like if you watch the VODs from my completed challenge runs, you're not gonna see like a speedrunner performance with like tricks and glitches and stuff. You're gonna see a casual, like, guy scraping through and just barely pulling off the challenge with the limited power of his own substandard mind. I like to, if I want to do a challenge, I want to do it with strats that I develop myself and things that I learn without input and watching other people. I'm fiercely independent, right? I don't have the collaborative mind. There isn't anything about all items there. There wasn't the last time I looked, not that I could find anyway. I mean, you could argue whether or not all items could rightfully be called 100% anyway, because like the game does get harder as you do multiple loops. So, like a single loop run, you could say, well, it's not 100% even if you did get all the items because you didn't do extra loops. But it's my run. I can call it what I want. Set my own rules. The thing is, like, the collaborative system that exists among people who speedrun a game, like the communities that develop and the way that the top runners are typically, like, the best runners. I mean, you get exceptions, but from my experience among speedrunning communities, the top runners are usually super supportive and encouraging and, like, willing to teach new people and stuff like that. And, like, the collaboration in the community is really excellent and admirable, I think, among speedrunning. But, like, it also is just not the way that I like to learn games. Because, like I said, like, I did a Castlevania The Adventure, right? I was a speedrunner of that for a time. And, Mazin, the world record holder for it, he coached me. Like he spent a lot of time. He spent a lot of time teaching me how to run that game and giving me feedback, and it was really supportive and super helpful, and it was a good time. And like Mazin has been a really good friend to me, and I had fun learning from him and playing that game. But just the way that I like to do challenges, though, it means a bit more to me. My challenge runs through these other games mean a lot more to me than my speed runs ever did, because I don't have a coach. Like I I like the runs that I figure out completely for myself better. Just because of, I guess, the kind of stubborn person that I am. So I don't have anything bad to say about like the sort of collaborative method. Other than that, it doesn't interest me for the challenges that I like to do. Hey, welcome in, Buzz. Good to have you with us again. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Welcome to Contra. We're just doing some second death. Just doing some casual playthrough through Contra. Hoping to get a 1cc. That's really the goal. I mean, you're always going for deathless, right? No one wants to lose a life, but we did, so 1cc is the best we can do now. And I'm fine with that. This is the worst part of the no items run. Having to mash the button to get rid of these guys with the pea shooter. That's the worst part of the run. Contra's my favorite speedrun because it's self-taught. Nice. Yeah, I like that because then, like, you know, when I complete a challenge run with my own strats, they're definitely not pretty runs, right? They're ugly and messy, but I'm proud of them because they're mine, right? It's like a I could try to draw, you know, I could try to I can't think of an example. I was going to compare like a drawing to a photocopy. And say I'm proud, you know, I'm prouder if I make a drawing by hand, even if it doesn't look like the thing I was trying to draw. I'm more proud of that than when I make a photocopy. That's what I was trying to put together. Frownie % is a category to me. Normally I'm a part of some speedrun communities where the top people are absolute jerks. Well, I mean, that's gonna happen, unfortunately. It gets harder after more loops, yeah. I think it gets harder up to 5, at least. I'm not exactly sure how the game works. I haven't ever looked into it, but it does get harder every loop, at least up until 5. It might actually get harder indefinitely. I've done 8 loops. I almost did 9. I made it to the end. I did 8 loops on 1 credit. I could have gone further if I used my extra credits, but I just wanted to see what I could do one credit. And I made it to the end of loop 8. To the final boss. So I almost got 9. But the only thing I really noticed getting harder was the bosses, and especially and pretty much just the bosses on the last stages. Nothing else really felt harder, even though, like, I think it does technically get harder. All my runs have been my own way and brute force things. Yes, I love it. I love it. Got good at this game in high school, Buzz says. I'm a newbie to this game. I only started playing it, like, August before last was my first time to ever play it. Yeah, and see, that's part of the thing, Natto. Why part of the thing is because like when you get to the point of a game where like I see getting to the point of the game where you want to learn a speed run and like start learning other people's strats and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that's the kind of thing that's interesting. That's like the kind of thing you want to do when you're at the end of your relationship with a game, right? When you've completely exhausted everything you can do with a game on your own, that's the time to start looking into things like that for me. Otherwise, I feel like if I jump, like I feel like if I jump to that point too soon, I'm robbing myself of lots of experiences that I could have in the sort of in between time. But, you know, some people might not be interested in those experiences the way I am, so I can get why other people are different, why, you know, other people think differently. I can't mash as I age, Buzz says. Your PB is 3.5 loops deathless. Nice. My PB deathless is 1 loop. But my 1cc PB is 8. Hey, Guri Soma, good to see you. Welcome in. How are the runs going? Well, we're just playing casual tonight. It's been a good night. I'm having a good time. I'm really lucky to have a lot of wonderful people here keeping me company. And now even more thanks to the raid. Tell us about your stream though. What were you getting up to tonight? And how did it go for you? At least a 5-loop speed run. Hey, Saimedo. Good to see you. Gotta go getting ready for bed. Hopefully tonight I'll sleep more than 3 to 5 hours. Thanks for the stream. Been watching off and on without you knowing. Unless you have a way to know. Nah, I don't look in to who's lurking. I let people come and go anonymously if they choose. But thank you for being here off and on, Saimedo. I really appreciate that. I hope you sleep well. Get a good rest, a long, deep sleep. Feel recovered and energized, my friend. Right. Did I get that shout out correct? Gurisoma, you're playing Arceus? It's been oddly relaxing, kind of how people find games like Stardew Valley relaxing. I can see that. I like Pokemon Arceus. I had fun with it. Hey, Brush Pirate, ahoy! Welcome in. Welcome to some casual Contra. Saimedo is my dad, Tush says. Hey, I didn't know that. Unless you're joking with me. Oh, I didn't mean to pause. I don't like to pause if I can just find somewhere safe to stand. I don't mind hanging out while we chat a little bit. Just did the Electrode boss. I kind of rushed through Arceus, I have to admit. I played that. I played that as a rental from the library, so I kind of got to a point where I rushed through it. I really like the core gameplay loop of Arceus. There are definitely things about it I don't like. I don't like the story. I don't like the talky, repetitive, endless dialogue. But like the hunting for Pokemon, like being out in the world, like, you know, even though it is kind of repetitive, like you said, I thought it was nice and relaxing. I like the environment. The actually, like, feet on the ground, like, gameplay of the game, I really enjoyed. But I didn't like the stuff around the gameplay, I guess. But I still think highly of it overall. And Battletoads went alright. I got a new PB. I'm still on level 9. I didn't actually beat a new level, but I made it further into stage 9 than I've ever been. I saw a new part of it, so I'm getting further. I'm getting further every night. I don't always make it to a new level, but I do always make it further so far. We'll keep at it. The plan is to keep playing it every night, basically, until I win. We'll make just 1 or 2 runs in the middle of the stream. Maybe after January is over, maybe I'll have maybe in February I'll have some nights where I focus in and do nothing but Battletoads to really help us get good at it. But for now, you know, at least until the end of this month, which I know is coming up, 1 or 2 runs a night for now. Battletoads is too hard. I like Battletoads. It's a lot of fun. Still need to try one of the OG Pokemon for the first time. Never got deep into it, Nato says. Pokemon Blue is my one true Pokemon love when it comes to video games. Pokemon Blue is the one that I completed the most thoroughly. And I never really got into another Pokemon game the same way ever again. Gen 1 was the gen for me. I love the original Pokemon Snap too. We played that on the stream, and boy, that was a fun night. I had a really good time playing that on the stream. I played it before as a rental when I was young, but I hadn't touched it since, and it was magical. I had a good time. Good progress. Gonna lurk a bit. Need foodstuffs. Right on. Thank you again for the raid. Find something delicious. I was trying to read. Got myself killed. Maybe it makes me a heretic, but I kind of like save states sometimes for this reason. Practice, then try to get through without save states. As long as you go back and do it, you know, legit without save states, you'll hear no complaining from me. I don't really mind if people want to play games with save states and rewinds. If that's the way you like to play games and that's fulfilling to you. You know, I'm not going to give anyone a hard time about it personally. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not really necessarily going to be interested in watching that kind of playthrough myself, typically, but, you know. You have the right to, you know, you have the right to play the game the way that is the most fun for you. And, you know, if I were making the leaderboards, would I accept your run with save states and rewinds in it? No, but at the end of the day, do you have to care what I think? No. I have a very to each their own sort of mentality. But, you know, personally, like, you know, I want to see people push themselves and do runs in the way that, you know, in the way that I find legit. Which is, you know, to do it without the modern conveniences. At least at some point. But no, it saves you. It saves you a lot of time if you take advantage of features like that. I kind of like the process though. You know, like, I'm playing Battletoads right now, and, like, if I had save states, would I have to repeat the first stages again and again and again? No, but I would also miss out on, like, the journey where, like, it's kind of fun. Like, every time I play it, you know, even though I'm repeating stages, I'm doing bad right now. I can't think and play. Even though I'm doing a lot of repeated stages, right, and losing a lot of time, I'm having a lot of fun with it because every time I repeat... You know, every time I repeat those stages, I get a little better, and you know that process of like having, you know, a slightly better stage 1, a slightly better stage 4. I really enjoy that process, but it does eat up a lot of time. It definitely does. It's not for me. I've known Saimedo for a while now. I was trying to embarrass him. Looks like he fell asleep. Tess says, alright. Arrow to the knee. No safe state choosing a challenge run. Right, I mean, come on. Okay, I would say you can't... it's not a challenge run if you're cheating. If you're playing casually and you're playing to have fun, you know, by all means, you know. But don't call it a challenge run. We have to draw some lines. For practice purposes, I don't think it's bad. No, I don't think it's bad. Time is the biggest issue. Yeah. No, I don't see it as like a terrible thing to do. I don't do. I mean, I couldn't do it. I play on an old hardware, so I couldn't do it even if I wanted to. And I have sometimes on the stream said, oh boy, if only I had a save state. That's more for comedic effect, though. But those words have come out of my mouth. Did you beat the Four Kings? I have not, Tusk. I got real close. I had one run that got real close. Save states are for posers, Buzz says. You don't have to worry about them around here because I couldn't make a save state no matter how badly I wanted to. My hardware doesn't allow it. The thing with the Four Kings, I'm in big trouble right now with the Four Kings, though, because I had a really good run, and I got really close to beating them. But during the battle, I broke my best weapon, so now every attempt I try, I've got to use a slightly worse weapon. Because I broke my best weapon, and I don't have the material I need to repair it. So not only did I lose my best run, but I made the game harder when I did. Oh. This has been an ugly run. How many times have I died? 5? Six? Come on, we gotta get out of here. Victory. No suggestions, Tusk. No help. That's bittersweet. I want you to beat them. I just don't want you to do it when I'm not there. Save states can be great, especially if we're playing the Lolo series. But you have passwords with Lolo. Thank you for the GG, Buzz. Thank you very much. All I'm going to say is I use save states for RCR on the Nintendo Online service. It's because I'm not willing to try and input one of the passwords of the game's save feature. Consider yourself a hero. Welcome in, MK. I hope you're doing well. I love it. Contra is a short game. It only takes... I run through Contra typically in a little over 20 minutes, I think. That's why it was a game I was interested in doing a challenge run of. All right, I'll tell you about my weapon. Please, I gotta say, please don't anybody give me any feedback on it though, okay? The weapon I broke was my crystal halberd, and I didn't break it. It's at risk. It's a crystal halberd +4. It's at risk, so I put it away. If I get it upgraded to a crystal halberd +5, it will repair it. So I know I can do that. I just don't have the titanite I need. But that's okay. I don't want to know where it is. And then the game starts again, so you can do as many loops as you want. I mentioned seeing how far I could get on 1 credit and how we made it almost to loop 9. We did 8 loops. I'd like to do that again sometime, but that's not what we're going to do tonight. I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know. I know I can't repair it like I can repair my other weapons. And my blacksmiths can't repair it yet. They might be able to down the line if I get them more embers. I don't know. But I know it, so it can't be repaired in the traditional way, at least not yet. but it can be repaired by upgrading it. So I have a workaround, but I don't have the Titanite I need. So I need to go Titanite hunting if I want to fix it. But I think I have a weapon that's almost as strong. My Gargoyle's Halberd. My Gargoyle's Halberd is almost as strong as my Crystal Halberd now. So it will probably do. I'll probably be able to beat the fight with that. Alright, that was Contra. Let me step away briefly. I'm not taking a break or anything, just need to change the cartridge. We'll continue. We'll run through Super C. I'll be right back. That's a pretty nasty password. Subject Omega. Yeah, using a save state to avoid having to type in a password is not the most like that. Again, that's not the worst thing you could do. I don't think that's a terrible thing to do. If the save state's just gonna put you exactly where the password would have put you anyway, especially. I was talking about the old rusty baby you used. It's not a suggestion or anything. I wondered if you wanted to be an Axeman again. All right, fair enough. Even if I maximally upgraded my old axe, it probably would never be powerful enough to be useful. Yeah, it's got. I mean, to have it. If it's gonna have a password that complicated, it better be saving a lot of information, right? So Super C, Super C is Contra 2, right? I like Super C more than Contra even. We've done the same 3 challenge runs that we did with Contra. I've done the same 3 through Super C before. But again, you probably won't see a lot of evidence of mastery. We're just going to do a casual playthrough. Going to try our best to get a 1cc. I'll feel really accomplished if I can still pull that off even in my rusty condition. I'm not sure what I just picked up. Oh, I think that was a screen clear. I forgot about that item. Fire weapon in Super C is way, way better than the original Contra. 100% improvement. If you like Contra, and especially if you like Super C, there's a cool indie game called Super Cyborg. You can get it on a lot of platforms. I played it on the Switch. Super Cyborg is really good. It's basically a Super C... they would probably want you to say Super C homage rather than Super C clone. It's a love letter to Super C, and it actually fixes Super C's biggest weakness in that it has really interesting and challenging bosses. A lot of the Contra games, at least the ones I've played so far, the biggest area that the early Contra games where they're lacking is their bosses are not spectacular. They usually have really good designs, but they're typically not super interesting to fight. A lot of them are super cheesable. That was oh, we're getting a few artifacts here. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to cheese a boss, especially a really challenging boss. It's fun to find a cheese strategy, but it's definitely more rewarding when you can't. I'm admittedly sometimes a king of cheese, forgive me. Oh, I enjoy cheesing stuff. Super Cyborg is really hard, almost jank, you'd love it. I already played Super Cyborg. It's amazing, I was just talking about it. If I wish I was able to make a beat 'em up with a stat system. I'd probably make a skill tree to customize your fighter how you like. Just want to be a solid all-arounder skill tree. Want to be a grappler skill tree. Want to be a weapon master skill tree. Want to pull off flashy combos? Skill tree. We celebrate that. Yeah. If you know, a tip, especially if it's a cheese you work out yourself, that's almost more rewarding than a legit fight, right? I don't think people understand your level of persistence. When we played Echo the Dolphin on the stream, I got to the last stage of Echo the Dolphin. I feel better now, thanks. I know you were... your life was incomplete without my approval, I know. When we played Echo the Dolphin, I made it to the last stage, and I was stuck there for 21 hours. Like, here's the thing, if you haven't played it, it's a 6 or 7 minute auto-scrolling maze. It's a nightmare of a stage. It's terrible. And at the end, there's a boss. And if you make it to the boss, there's no checkpoint. You die at the boss, you go back to the beginning of the maze. So I was stuck there. Repeating that maze because I didn't know how to defeat the boss. And I couldn't. I had a hard time with the maze. It's really tough, even after hours and hours of doing it. And the game is janky and broken and terrible, and everything about it is awful, and it's a garbage game. But I was stuck at the last stage for 21 hours. But the thing is, there's a password, right? If you make it through the game doesn't give you the password, but there is a password to restart at the final boss without having to do the maze. And like, by the end, there were people practically begging me to use the password to cheat and use the password, and I insisted on running the maze every time. I would not give in. I did break down and allow the chat to offer me a little insight into how the boss worked. I did suspend the no backseating policy a little bit. But I insisted on not actually cheating. No passwords, Frownie, or you're a nerd. I mean, believe me, if the game gave me that password, I would have used it in a heartbeat. But because it's a secret password that you're not supposed to know, I couldn't. It's not legit. I couldn't use it. If the game had given me that password, you can bet I would have typed it in every time. It would have been fair game. Cheese is the beginning of any speedrun, Tusk says. It's true, very incomplete. It takes hundreds of people to make a well-crafted game, and only takes one bored person to rip it all apart. Sad, but true. Once again, head and brick wall. My game crashed. In the capture, it just went to a black screen. For me, it's flashing. Yeah, it crashed. Let me jiggle the cartridge and we'll restart it. I'll be right back. All right, from the top. I love the colors of that sunset in the background. That purple and orange and red together. They just pick some great colors. And on the clouds, love the background. I don't feel like when I hear people talk about the Contra games, I don't feel like I hear them talk much about their aesthetic quality. Outside of, noting that they're very H.R. Geiger influenced in the alien design. People talk about that, but I don't think they talk about the beauty of them quite as often. I really like the shade of teal they picked for our hero's pants as well. I don't know if it comes across quite the same in the capture. It's not quite a blue; it's more of a teal, and it's got a sort of waxy, like crayon type quality to it. They're very strange pants. I don't think they would be very comfortable. I feel like the bosses for that beat 'em up should be characters who have mastered certain skills and even have an unlearnable skill. Like a weapon master boss could cause all weapons in the arena to levitate and throw them at you. Purple and orange are complementary. I definitely think it makes sense to have, video game bosses that are more competent than the characters that you play as. At least in some areas, that I think that they need skills that outclass you in some ways. That was originally meant to be the power of RCR's final boss, but it got cut. It sounds to me like a golden opportunity for someone to scoop it up then. Don't let it go to waste. I'm usually more into character progression myself. That's, you know, for the type of games that I play, I'm usually more interested in character progression coming through, like, discoverable items. We were talking about this earlier, like, like, rather than experience and sort of, like, levels and, like, cashing in your skill points and things like that, for games that I play, I'm usually more interested in, like, A Link to the Past or Super Metroid, where, like, you explore and you find an item that makes you more powerful, like an extra heart container or a new weapon. I've definitely enjoyed games with skill trees, right? Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, they added a skill tree, and thank goodness. Thank goodness they added a skill tree to Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, because that game is a nightmare. But, you know, it's not my personal favorite form of progression. I'm more a find the secret item type of a gamer. I will say that my, like, you know, my preference, it has a huge drawback, and it makes the game less replayable, right? Because you don't have as many, like, a skill tree gives you different options, right? Where you can do a different build every time you play, and that gives you a very different experience. There's a huge drawback to, you know, my point of view. Like, if you wanted, like, you know, you can sequence break a little bit when you do, like, A Link to the Past, but really, like, so far as having different builds for Link, there's not really many choices you can do, right? You can collect the heart pieces, or you can not collect the heart pieces. There's not a ton of difference. So, you know, there are definitely drawbacks. I'm not saying my preferred way is better. I'm just saying that it's what I usually think of. What I usually gravitate toward. No, that one was a death pit. I forgot. I thought I was further along. Or probably more accurately, I just didn't think. You could learn the secret techniques, or you could not learn the secret techniques. Wow. Wow, I never noticed how cheesable this boss is until just now. I've never stood in a single position like this before. And it actually works. Oh, that's gross. Oh, this boss is so much easier than I thought. Hey, it's cheese time. Could make some hidden areas. RCR has findable books that give you certain abilities. Oh, that's nice. That's the kind of thing I like. I didn't like Legend of Zelda Master Quest 1 because the Master Sword was weak. You could learn the secret techniques or not learn the secret techniques. Breath of the Wild also suffered from Link never becoming stronger. What? What? I don't know that I understand. Doesn't Link become way stronger in Breath of the Wild? You can find all kinds of stronger weapons, and you can upgrade your armor, and you get more hearts. In what way does he not become stronger? I don't understand. I mean, to be fair, a lot of games that I really like also have no progression. I also really like a lot of games that have no progression. I guess I should say, like, you know, like Contra and Ghosts and Goblins. Like, your character doesn't really you get the best weapon in the game. Your character never really changes again. You know, the progression, you could say the progression only happens in your thumbs. Yeah, I tend to gravitate towards those type of games an awful lot. As well. I'm probably gonna die because I did this part weird. Hey, I'm okay. And I got the spread gun. Don't listen to me. I never know what's gonna happen. I see you've clarified a little bit for me, but it's going to take me a moment to actually be able to read. Put in skill checks like a mastery test. Ah, don't hit me. Never mind. It hit me. Oh, it hit me twice. Ugh. When I was learning this game, it took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to realize that the optimal strategy for fighting this guy is from the inside out. I kept trying to fight him from the left to right, and the thing is, like, if you take away the outer pegs, he'll move further to the left or right. He always makes sure his lasers cover all the way to each side of the screen, no matter how many lasers he's lost. So fighting from left to right was a really, really bad idea. And I stuck with it for a really long time before I realized that I could make a safe space in the middle. In the original, they were just shop items you could buy, but I'm willing to spread them around the place. In Breath of the Wild, the Lionel Sword is 4 times as strong as the Master Sword, and that's just a common drop. Oh, so you were specifically talking about you wanted the Master Sword itself to become stronger in some of those games. Not just that Link is able to find a stronger weapon, but specifically you're interested in the Master Sword being improvable. Am I understanding correctly? This is my favorite stage. I love these multicolored clouds in the background. It was pointed out to me a couple days ago that the level like doesn't make any sense because it's a bunch of platforms just floating suspended in air. So like the layout of the level makes no sense, but I mean, I love those clouds in the background. I love the purple boulders. And I don't really like the area B of the stage, the shipping containers. I mean, this is kind of dull. But I like the boss of this stage. The stage is probably maybe the finest boss in an NES Contra game. Uh-oh. And I'm going to have to fight him on hard mode. Because I didn't remember where the guys come out. It took me 20 years to learn that Contra guy is actually named Bill Reiser. Welcome in, Radiaz. Good to see you again. I hope you're doing well this morning. I don't remember. I certainly didn't know that right away when I played the game, but when I did learn it, right, the Contra guys, they're named Bill and Lance. So I'm doing a Contra marathon in April on William Shakespeare's birthday. Since their names are so similar. I'm running really low on lives. That boss is amazing. Best boss in Contra. A lot of fun. You can beat Breath of the Wild right away. Fighting chaos can be almost instant. You don't need the Master Sword or any powerful weapons. This is true, but I really doubt that many average gamers out there are gonna play Breath of the Wild, immediately run to Ganon and defeat him like in the first like 20 minutes of the game. I think Ganon is technically beatable right from the start, but I think your odds of doing it for the average person are pretty low. Oh, this part is always scary. That part's even scary with the spread gun, but without it, it's extra scary. This is good for this boss, though. Super easy boss. I don't know, Tusk. I don't really quite see it the same way. I feel like there's a lot of progression in Breath of the Wild. I do agree that it's optional, but I kind of like that about it. Sometimes you need a little nonsensical platforming. Agreed. 3 HP with just a stick and a loincloth to your name. Sorry, I was just getting caught up on the chat there. I think in Tears of the Kingdom they'll fix it. We shall see. We shall see. I don't know that I felt it was broken, but I guess for your sake, my friend, I hope that you're right. I really liked Breath of the Wild. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't have many complaints. I know that there are, you know, things that other people didn't like about it, but they didn't affect me the same way. I just had a magical time with that game, just exploring the world, getting lost, having fun. There wasn't a lot that ever bothered me. Nice to see we're getting a few lives back. There's like a pointy rock or something on the floor on the other side of this boss. If you walk around too far on the right-hand side, your character will die from nothing. He like stubs his toe on the pointy rock and dies. I don't know what it is. There's a death pixel over there. I don't know if it spawns every time, but it spawns frequently enough that I never go over there on the right anymore. A typo mess. No worries, Tusk. No worries at all. You're perfectly fine, my friend. No! What? How did I miss that jump? There's lots of places to die on this level. I don't think that's one of them. Do I want that laser? Sure. The laser is such a weird weapon, right? Because, like, if you mash the button, look at what it does. Like, if you fire 2 lasers, your second one makes the first one disappear. So if you mash the button, you can't clear the screen. You have to wait for the first laser to go all the way across before you fire the second one. It's so weird. It's the most bizarre weapon. Yeah, it looks like a flamethrower. Speaking of flamethrowers, I just missed the flamethrower. So we're going to be finishing the game with the pea shooter if we finish it. I think my biggest problem is that Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda game, and then Wind Waker. I mean, it's fine, you know. I liked, you know, I like Breath of the Wild more than you did, but that's no big deal. I can definitely understand, you know, people not being into it as much. Just, you know. We have to have different tastes on some things. We can't like all the exact same things. That would mean one of us was a clone of the other, and then we would have to duel to the death. So that only one would remain. I wouldn't want to be in that situation. I do love Twilight Princess. I want to play Wind Waker again. I haven't played that one since it was new. Crafneer, welcome in. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, we're playing some Contra. I looked away and I died. There can be only one. Precisely. We played Contra 1. We're gonna try and beat Super C now. Just doing some casual playthroughs. I've done more expert level playthroughs in the past. We did some challenge runs, so tonight I'm doing my ugly casual thing. I'm definitely no pro. But I love these games. You've kind of come in at the end, though, I'm afraid, because we just finished this one. I think that's all I have. I think that's really all I have in me for tonight, my friends. We've been going for 7 hours. Thank you for the GG. It's 6 a.m. for me. The sun's going to come up. And I'm going to turn back into a pumpkin. Thank you for the GG as well. Thank you, Omega. Thank you, Tusk. Still need to add Super C and Contra 3 to my collection. Casual plays are great. Right on. Hey, thank you, Natto. Thank you for the GGs. It was fun. See you next time. Thank you, Rafnir. Thank you for the GG. I'm really sorry I'm kind of running away just as you come in. And same to you, Counter-Strike Boy. Welcome back. I'm happy to see you, but we're kind of finished with the stream. We just completed another game. I thought maybe I would do more Contra games tonight, but Battletoads and Taz, they both took longer than I thought they would. The plan was to try to do was to actually try to do more. Well, the first person that I looked at to maybe raid, it looks like they're raiding out, so maybe that's not going to work. I'm going to send us on a raid. No, I didn't beat Battletoads. It's your schedule. Yeah, I'm sorry. I stream late at night, and that can't be convenient for everybody, I'm afraid. It's not even always very convenient for me. I made it to level 9 again in Battletoads, and I made it further into level 9 than I've been in the past. So, you know, that was good. It's technically a new PB, even though it doesn't look like it on paper. Necessarily, it's technically new. Oh, here's someone else we could go to. I didn't even see this. This is great. All right, my friends. So I usually don't stream on Saturdays. I usually don't stream on Sundays either. There's a slim chance I'll be back Sunday night with something, but really I would say look for me Monday. I appreciate the recommendation, Tusk. Maybe another time because I've already opened up someone who's kind of a regular around here that I really would prefer to send us in the direction of tonight. Um, so I'm sorry to decline your recommendation. But another night when I can't find anyone, maybe we'll be able to drop in then. But we've got someone live who's a regular here, and so I feel it's it's better I get people to check out his stream. This time. All right, and so the person we're going to go see is Buddha Fingers. If you've been around, you've heard Buddha's never-ending supply of terrible puns. Hopefully we'll get some of those on the other side. He's playing Paper Mario and playing it for the first time. I actually not 100% sure about his backseating and spoilers policy. I would assume they're strict, and if he says otherwise, then listen to him. But let's go in cautiously, and give our friend some company. Hopefully, he'll make some bad jokes for us. But it's been great tonight, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. I've had a really good time. It's been a great stream. We did a lot of good things. We cleared a terrible level in Taz. We've got one left. We're gonna finish that next week. We got further in Battletoads than we've ever been. We're gonna work on that every night or almost every night next week. We're still working through Dark Souls and Minish Cap, blind first playthroughs of both of those games. They're both a joy, but boy, Dark Souls is a struggle. Probably some more Contra. I'd like to do another run of Contra 3 and to finally beat Contra Adventure sooner rather than later. So I'll try and squeeze those on the schedule. We'll see how it goes. Every night next week, every weeknight, it's a good chance I'll be around. 11 p.m. Central Time is the time to look for me. That's it, my friends. Thank you one last time. We're all out of stream for tonight. It's time to head out. Let's go on an adventure.